everybody, and welcome to another episode of Build Study. We are here at the ArdaCraft server, and I am joined today by the great Twitch streamer and now YouTuber Prideceratops.
Hey, how's it going?
It is going well. So I got some interest and some views and comments and stuff on the last ArdaCraft not World Tour, that's Build Study video that I did, and I wanted to bring along Pride, and we're going to bring along maybe Germsy Boy and maybe Monk and some other builders and Vasten to come here and just get some ideas and check out what they're doing. And this is one of their older builds. This is Bree. One of the co-founders and people who run the server actually popped onto my Discord and was just talking to us a little bit and stuff and offered some insight into how they did its Fornad. So thank you ahead for jumping into Discord and talking to us and telling us a little bit about stuff that you do, along with some like farming guides and all that kind of good stuff that we can talk about at some other point. But let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, those farming guides are really convenient, and I've used them a few times in builds of my own. Nice.
That's one thing that I talked about last episode, and something that for Vasten that, it's a survival vanilla realm. So the size of farms, like, let's just pop over here and look at this. So that field is like hours upon hours upon hours of doing in survival, but look at what you get, That's amazing.
And throwing in there like semi-harvested, like you can tell it's right in the middle of harvest, is a really nice touch. That's something I hadn't even thought of in survival before.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to talk to you about as far as text. In Vasten, it's a vanilla realm, but we have a custom texture pack that we all use. It's right on the server, so that way everyone's always on the same page. And I do want to do a glazed terracotta block of ground cover, and I'm thinking that we should do this farmland as one of them.
Yeah, I mean, that could be pretty nice.
The thing is that we would have to hide water otherwise, you know what I mean? To keep it, because otherwise it will just revert, and I think that would make it messy. I think it would not be as effective. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we could do something like we'd hide water underneath hay bales to pull off something like this, but I think it'd just be better just make it a block.
Yeah. Or what are you using soul sand for? In the overworld, anyway.
It's like a mud texture.
Oh, okay. Because I was thinking since the farmland is, just 1 pixel down anyway, that it would work with soul sand as well. But yeah, I mean, glazed terracotta would work. Not a whole lot of them get used anyway, so.
Yeah, I've already replaced a bunch of them. And since with glazed terracotta, you get 4 different sides. That can be 4 different ground covers that we can do. So I think that's kind of cool. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, just the simple size of these farms. I spent a lot of time in the farms last time, and I mean, it's so immersive, and like you're just walking through, and it's like, yeah, this is a real farm. Like I'm really a dude walking through this farm in real life is what it feels like. It's really awesome. But let's go into Bree. So Bree in the Hobbit books, this is the first town that the Hobbits get to, I believe. And man, if anyone's watching this who knows this better than me, well, everyone pretty much would know this better than me. I apologize for inaccuracies, but I'm pretty sure this is where the little band of Frodo and Sam and Pippin and who's the other one?
Starts with an M.
Merryweather, maybe.
Something like that.
Anyway, this is where the 4 of them I think go. Their first stop, and. Man, first thing is look at okay, so when you first walk in, this is something that I think should take into consideration is the land before you build the houses and stuff. I mean, normally in Minecraft, you're not going to have a hill like that, so you'd have to do it custom.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But man, it's so good. It allows for so many scale. Now, you're the artist, so maybe you can put it into more technical terms than I can.
Yeah, I mean, it just cities typically have their like central focus on the top of a hill, mostly for strategic points, and it just like the vantage point of just that gradual slope up to what looks like. Let's zoom in here. It looks like there's another wall up there, maybe, or there's at least a building over the road, and just having the houses come up on the side close it all in for you. A big thing is, like I learned from plot stuff, is building to where you break off the sky point in Minecraft, because let's be honest, the sky, even with good texture packs, looks terrible. And so what they've done here is when you're standing down at the bottom, you can really only see the sky on this like left portion here, and everywhere else it's broken off.
That's really interesting. Oh yeah, you're right. I never would have thought of it that way, but yeah, you're totally right. That's really, I know for one thing, I learned from watching B-Dub's videos is always talk about like a painting, like you have something in the foreground, something in the back. And I think just this entrance to the city accomplishes that. Like boom, you have foreground, you have middle, and then you have something in the distance that is so effective.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And this pathway really draws in your eye and like says, go this way.
It really does. Yeah, that's another thing I always think is like, what would make a person like us, like a visitor in the realm or on the server, want to go to a certain place? Like when I'm here, I want to go up there. Like I want to go see what that is. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go and see what that is right now because it's making me do it. I have lost control of myself. Also, I'm very bitter that they have wool slabs, but that's fine.
I would say you could draw inspiration for your Conquest series, but it's a bit more of a magic and mod focused than building like mine is.
Well, yeah. Ideally, it wouldn't be. Ideally, it would be building series, but then anything I build in that series, I would want to just build in Vasten, So I'm trying to do something to different. Like, actually, you gave me some good ideas on Discord. You're like, well, why don't you build in this style or this style? And I was thinking like, yeah, I want to do all that stuff in Vasten, eventually down the road.
Is this the place they stayed at in the beginning where they met Viggo Mortensen?
It is. This is the Prancing Pony. That's right.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah,
I love their interiors on here.
You know what? I was talking about this last episode too. Like they're so like cramped feeling, which is something that I need to learn from because, man, mine are wide open. They're like big freaking giant empty rooms, and these are fantastic.
Yeah, and they're very like non-traditional. So I mean, you come straight into a diagonal, and then into a straight. And they're not really afraid, because a lot of people would have built this wall right here, perfectly straight.
You're
and
exactly
they wouldn't
right.
have thought to do step outs every room.
You're right.
They're also, in a lot of cases, it looks like they're not afraid to use even numbers either, which I personally love, throwing in a mix of even and odds, not only working in like 3s and 5s and 7s.
Yeah, you're totally right.
I think it breaks it up a lot.
I wonder what the thinking is on which Tudor style block you would use on this. Like, I don't know this style. Is it just? Do you think it's just random? I mean, I do see that there's a pattern, like down, right, up, left, but I wonder what the thinking is there.
With the top portions, I think it was just the design. Like you said, like right here we've got the pointing in, and then we've got the same slope, and then the same. I think this stone here is meant to sort of symbolize like where the stucco portion has kind of worn off a little bit more than normal. But unfortunately, just the way we're working with the textures, it doesn't fit in perfectly. But it gets the point across for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really fantastic. Even, in fact, actually, here's something that I always struggle with. So if you're building an interior, right, and you want to have, like, say, a colored wall, but the outside, because of Minecraft being Minecraft, is going to be the outside color, this works seamlessly. I mean, the white on the outside and the brown on the inside. If I were building this, I would be like, no, you can't do that, but clearly you can, and clearly it worked great.
Yeah, and on larger buildings, on these small cramped ones, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But on big ones, double thick walls.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Yep. Especially when you're doing like castles and keeps and those really big buildings.
Well, and that that helps fill space too as well, because one of the things that I really have got to get better on for interiors is really making them cramped and medieval feeling, because I think the feeling of a medieval feeling is the really tight, cramped quarters, and I think it's probably easier to decorate that way. You don't need so many things.
Yeah. You can get away with doing a lot less in that space. And another good thing to remember that I see a lot of people miss out on, I guess, when they're doing medieval is size is a wealth thing. So you'll notice all these open areas outside are actually really open and almost kind of like empty. We've got a cart here, we've got some barrels and stuff, but a lot of builders would have tried to fill this space here where I'm standing, and it's nice to like have your outside spaces open, big enough for carts.
Yeah.
But since these people aren't wealthy, the interiors are small. But big, high-end places, I think people shouldn't be afraid to have like, okay, you've got your bed here, and then just this big open space. If you think about like rich people's homes now, they're massive rooms with like nothing in it.
It's true, yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And because you would imagine that there would be people walking out here, like a lot of them, maybe, up and down these areas, which is another thing of why I want Germ to get that his whole like ambient sound command block thing worked out, so we can appropriate it for the realm.
Oh yeah.
Imagine if you were walking through here and you heard ambient like city sounds,
Oh yeah, just like talking and stuff.
Right. Yeah, it just
be very cool.
Oh, it just feels so good. So hopefully we can get that added here in 1.13 at some point. But oh man, there's just so much to see. There's so many things.
I thought this was a lift, but this is just like a awning held up.
Yeah, that's a nice detail.
There's so many details that are on here that, I mean, like I try and grab screenshots and stuff, and I just know it'll take me forever because this is so many people's work and styles all together and ideas.
Right. Yeah,
it's hard to keep up.
It really is. Oh, here's a grocer. Oh, let's see what's in here. I can't believe that all the interiors are done and so well thought out, and it's really, I mean, man, that's next. That's the next level, This is very possibly dark. I wonder if I have a lighting turned on, maybe I can hold a torch. That helps a little bit. Yeah, man. Oh, even a basement all filled up. Jeez, this is awesome.
Oh yeah, because there's a door here. I saw it from the outside, but it's closed off right now.
Oh, no, that is the door.
Oh, wow, that's an actual door. Okay. Oh, hey.
I only know that because I happened to find a few hobbit holes around here, and they had the painted door that just looks like. It doesn't look like a door. It looks like wood.
I need to get with my little brother about that. We were looking at these. We were in Hobbiton, and we saw them open, and I bet there was doors that were just opened, and we didn't realize it.
Yep. I actually I broke one by accident. My finger slipped, and you can't break things, but apparently doors. There's a little graphical glitch that when you break them, they don't update until you try to close them again. I mean, we can't break any blocks because we're not members, man. But that's good. I would never want to because I would screw up everything. The other thing that I love about this, and something that I worked hard on, it's interesting, in Vasten, you can see the evolution of my sort of medieval building as town. Like, if you were just look at it, you would be able to tell, oh, this is early. This you did, like, more recently. Because I've just gotten, the more and more I build, the closer and closer houses are getting together.
And honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing, especially in a city the size of Port Bray. Is like there would be so many builders there, and it would have built over such a vast amount of time that there's a lot of different styles going in. They would have built differently as time went on. They would have built closer and closer together to conserve space. Yeah. So really, it kind of feeds into the atmosphere. And like for you, you look at it as like this is my progression as a builder, but for a stranger coming in, it looks like, oh, okay, this looks like it could be intentional.
Well, like as if they were running out of space. Oh, this is a house. This is a door. Oh, that's super cool, man. What a cool passage.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. This kind of thing, man. It's not hidden because there's no door on or anything, but like it kind of feels like it's hidden. It kind of feels like a little hidden alley. It's so immersive. It's so cool. It's so good.
Found a bathroom.
Really?
There's just a toilet in here, yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, yeah. There's something that I don't think we have one of in the entire realm of Vasten. I don't think I've built one bathroom ever.
Oh, wow. And then the gross part's down there.
Dude, you've got to be kidding me.
I'll
really?
lock you in.
Oh, that's so good. No, get out.
Yep.
No.
And so that's something that we could easily do, those toilets. It's just a hopper and a trapdoor.
Yeah. That's just thinking ahead of, thinking of those things. And also that's also a really great space filler when you have like, a 5x5 area and you're like, what am I going to do here? Okay, toilet. That's a great thing for that. Oh, this is awesome. And I like that the overgrowth isn't overdone. It's just the right amount too. It looks like there's some growth here, but if it had gone on any more, people would have cut it back. This is.
Yeah, this is like a fine line between like, let's tend to it and, it looks good.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah, it's really great. Sorry, I'm just making sure I'm recording. Okay, all right. Let's continue on. And the other thing too. Here's another thing that I am evolving out of is building all the buildings in a certain area out of the exact same palette.
Yeah, you break it up a little bit.
Like similar, but like if you look actually at roofs, that's what I was looking for before you got on here. There's only about maybe 3 or 4 main kinds of roofs. There's like
I'm seeing the thatch, these like I think they're actually technically cyan. Yep, cyan roof tiles, and then this like wooden one here.
Yeah.
Brown gray woods.
I mean, there may be a few others in here, but for the most part, it's really like kind of 3 or 4 shades. So they stick to a very similar palette, but not exactly. And that's something I think at Port Bray, sometimes when I look at it, I'm like, boy, there's a lot of red roofs here. It'd be nice if there were a few different ones. Yep,
true.
Yeah, little gardens everywhere too. That just, again, like, I know that in the lore wise, like this would be a functional garden, but as a builder wise, this just fills up that amount of space perfectly,
Oh yeah. But I mean, even really, if you look at this from a survival aspect, like you could survive off this. You need to harvest it a little bit more often than if you have like massive wheat field and just get out there and knock the whole thing down. But this is definitely like a survivable amount of food.
Yeah. Yeah, this is awesome.
Now, one thing, at least for Conquest and more towards like my viewers, if you're doing Reforged with me and stuff, we were talking about those different materials. In Conquest, it's a little bit easier to work within whatever's in your biome. Like in the Reforged mod, you've got your different layers of sediment. And like in my Alone in the Woods series, we're building the town completely out of that natural sandstone, the dark stuff, and then diorite, birch, and oak. We're not going out into the world and getting other stuff because it's not there. And I think they kind of did that a little bit here. Like everything, there's a lot of different textures, but it's all the same stuff. There's just this sort of stucco and cobblestone look here. And it's like they got their stuff regionally to build this town, which is how it would have been built.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, we tried to do that a little bit on Vasten as far as wood types, which is really your only option. Like if we build
with stone, I mean, it's just what it is.
Exactly.
And then in the desert, you got sandstone. There's not a whole lot more you can do.
What do you think is going on? Do you think this is just water, or do you think that this pit on the outside would be like for, I don't want to say a moat, but like a defensible purpose type of thing?
Yeah, I definitely think this was dug, and I've been to a couple different towns where they had like it was in progress, and you could see shovels and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
But I don't know if these are supposed to be roots or spikes. I mean, it's kind of up in the air because there's this hedge wall here.
Yeah, right.
Which would definitely have roots, and that's where that's at.
Yeah, that's true. I would imagine it's roots.
But I do think this is like intentionally dug out at some point and just filled in.
It's super good, man. It really makes you feel like this is a real thing in a real place, point in time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I also like how they don't really go overboard a lot with the slabs and trapdoor textures. Even on the roofs, like it's pretty much full blocks in most places.
Yeah. Well, that is convenient for us since that's our option for the most part.
Especially in Vasten with the limited. But a lot of times we see that in Reforged. We see this would be all vertical slabs and half slabs and trapdoors everywhere and stuff, and they kind of just it works in full blocks still. Well,
they're there. They're just kind of subtle though. I mean, I think they're there in the right places.
A little bit more slab stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And just like, you're right. Like full blocks here, but then they did stick a slab in here just to make just the right angle going up to the top of the roof. It's extremely well done. Now, so what I heard is Bree is one of their older builds, and the last episode I did is one of their absolutely brand new builds, and it's really interesting to see the evolution between the two because they are not much alike, which is good. You know, that's a good thing. But like if you were to drop down in that town that I did last episode, I can't remember the name offhand, but like you would instantly just like, yeah, I'm not in Bree, not just from the palette, but even from the building style, and I think that's a fantastic thing. It really makes it feel like it's a different place.
Oh, hey, we didn't even see this. I was wondering about the back end of town because the front end and the sides are very, very fortified.
Mm-hmm.
But I was looking at the map and I was like, there's no wall in the back. What's going on back here? And it's just a hill with a bunch of hobbit holes.
Yeah, that's super cool, man.
Now, I don't really remember, is Bree is a human city, right? There's just hobbits back here, or is Bree a hobbit city?
Okay, well, someone's gonna be yelling at the screen right now because
I'm sure I'm gonna have to look that one up. I'll look it up before this video goes out.
Okay, look, so I know that Bree is the first town that the band of hobbits gets to, so they must be fairly close to the Shire, so maybe it's both.
Yeah, it could be sort of a mix.
I mean, that would kind of make sense, and these sure do feel like hobbit holes if they're not. I have not been to the Shire in this world, so at some point we'll do that. Maybe next, I don't know.
Hobbiton is gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm sure. I saw a video of it. I did see Dukon doing a video of a lot of these places, but just to see it in real life is very different. Which I should say, by the way, in case you didn't see the first part, you can get on this server. You go to ArdaCraft. Just Google it. It's spelled. It'll be in my description.
ME, yep.
And you download their launcher and you can get on just like we are. You're in creative mode, so you can fly, but you can't place blocks, which is good for all of us. And yeah, and you can just check it out. And I encourage strongly, if you have a computer that can run the Conquest Reforged mod, get on here and check it out, because man, what they're doing is it's staggering in scale and scope. Dude.
Oh, there's like a whole nother portion of the town back here.
Wait a second.
Or is this a different town?
Are these furnaces that come up? They're actually like it's in the right place, right? Like if you were to come down.
Where you at? Oh yeah. Yeah, that one's really far back there. Let's see, is it this house?
It is. It is right here. There's like a furnace right there that goes the whole way up to. That's amazing.
That's good work.
That's
some thought process there.
I mean, we're probably 15 to 20 blocks inside the hill and they still, that's right where that is. That's so good. It's so good. Wow. Man, this is inspiring. This is really inspiring. And I don't know what this is. But it's beautiful.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's a different part of town.
I don't even want to fly. I want to walk. I just want to I want to live here. I just want to move my family and kids and move and live in this area of the world. There's no reason why we couldn't do a town like this. Because we don't have World Painter in Vasten. So we would have to build these hills manually. You don't get this kind of world gen, but we could do that. Build
for sure.
Build the hill first and then just put a sort of town on the side of it. That would be amazing. I have been on, there's another Lord of the Rings Tolkien style world, and they play straight vanilla instead of Conquest. Now they have their resource pack. But
I think I've seen that, yeah.
It's called Minecraft Middle-earth, I think, or maybe the opposite way around. But and it's really interesting to see how the two approaches differ. Now I think there's some scale issues. Like I don't think that is to scale, and I think ArdaCraft is actually to scale.
I don't think it's 1-to-1, but I know this map is massive.
Okay.
It's like 45,000 blocks, I think I once heard, east to west. I mean, it's large, but I think Middle Earth is substantially larger than that.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's interesting to see the difference between building it with Conquest Reforged and all the extra stuff versus just a texture pack. Man, this is both very complicated, but also very freeing to have all this extra stuff.
Yeah, there are almost moments where you're walking through and it just it stops feeling like Minecraft for a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
And almost just feels a little bit like you're actually here.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that is the level of immersion that I would strive for in our server. Is to really make it so immersive as much as you can in a vanilla setting. that just feels like you're just walking. Oh, dude, even the entrance to this house, it's such a dumb little thing. But I would put stairs straight on.
Oh yeah, you just have this like little patio here, covered up.
You know, that's the smallest thing, but man, that adds something, and it's really well done. I gotta remember that. I want to take a screenshot of that. This is like, of all the things I've seen, this thing is like one of the things that's like sticking in my mind. Now, this is super interior, fully done. Look how small these rooms are, though. I mean, this room is what, 3 by 6? 3 by 6.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, it's great. But I've got to start shrinking my interior rooms.
It's so much easier to do interiors. Oh, there's like a little back balcony as well. I like how they're not afraid to do like several different windows too. Like in this main room, there's a 2x1, but there's also a 2x2. In the front room, there's a window lower, and then a window 1 block up as well. Like they really change it up throughout the house. Upstairs, there's some 2 tall windows and also some single windows.
That's really interesting.
Oh, okay. I see why that one inside was like that.
Well, that's really interesting too. You stick the window on the outside like there. Huh.
Yeah, I've never done it as a like a 2 block wide. I've done it as 3 block wides in several of my builds. But it looks pretty interesting as a 2 wide.
Yeah, it really does. It looks like a what do you call one of those corners that you can
sit in? Window.
Yeah, bay window. That's right.
Yep. With the 3 block wide ones, you can actually like sit in them.
Right. Even the way this house is like up on pedestals, even that's just awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was just coming down here looking at. So you would do that for, you know, in this area, probably not as much of an issue with being like a floodplain, since we're right on the end of a hill. But this is pretty common, even still, in really floody areas. But it also serves as like a nice dry storage. Probably has more to do with like the elevation because it's not really basement material, and basements are not super common.
I wonder if it's there to stop it from like sliding down the hill. You know? Either way, it looks awesome, and I like it, and I'm going to steal it. I like it a lot. This is very cool. Hey, so what would your thoughts be on adding a non-animated smoke texture?
Animated or not, I like the idea of having smoke. I mean, it's going to look a little weird in caves if we're doing cobwebs, but honestly, not enough to matter.
Well, I wonder if we could use a glass color. I've not tried it yet. You know, Minecraft has rules about what blocks can be transparent and not.
It would have to be a glass block because of the way panes work now, and they don't. Right. They're not the plus shape anymore.
Right.
But it's almost like, do you want to lose a glass block?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that picky, and we'd have like 15 others, you know? I think it might be worth trying.
Yeah. I
mean, think about how many times in an entire world we would use smoke coming out of chimneys. Like, all the freaking time, you know?
The other thing I'm worrying about with that is with it being a glass block. So you notice how the smoke is on that X model. I don't think we can do that with a glass block.
That is very likely.
It would have to be on the faces.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure it would also be on the top and bottom.
Yeah, and it would look bad. You're totally right. I didn't think about that, about the X plane. Yep. All right, end of that discussion.
Yeah.
Stupid mods.
I like the idea of having smoke in, but I feel like it would have to be cobwebs.
Yeah, I think it would be because of the X. Yeah. Or I mean, we could probably do it with a flower too, but then you'd have to like a command block get them in. But
yep. All
right. Well, good enough, man. Wow, this hill. I mean, of all the stuff I've seen, in some ways, I like this hill maybe just about the most.
These small hamlets, like just sitting in the farming side, and I mean, like, don't turn around because there's more.
Oh no.
There's a quarry.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they just like, we're so used to big cities and builds, and big towns and stuff. When you throw in, and that's I think that's why I'm actually looking forward to season 3 of Vasten way more than season 2. Actually,
Yeah, I get you.
I love the stuff on the road. I love just popping in these little hamlets, or an inn, or throwing in like a little thieves' den. Even like I've built like foxholes, and not like World War II foxholes, but like literally a hole in the ground where like fox or rabbits or something would live in.
Yeah.
Small stuff like that is my weakness, and like environmental stuff.
Oh, look at this waterfall.
Because what you don't want is having a 20,000 block walk with nothing to see there.
Exactly, which is what we are going to have initially, and we'll have to work hard on. Yeah, we'll have to work hard. And that's the thing in Vasten too, because any of us who are recording can always branch out. Because if you're doing, you don't want to do 25 episodes in a row of Lake Town. You can always branch out and take a break and go do a hamlet, or take a break and go work on another one of the independent kingdoms or something like that.
Yeah.
That's specifically for the guys recording and streaming. That's something that I think is absolutely fair game, because it gets real boring doing the exact same. It's like, hey, let's build another house for the 45th episode in a row.
That almost makes you wonder here, did they build this whole thing and just pop somewhere else, or while they were in the middle of, like, was this a project they were working on at the same time of Bree? Did some of the builders be like, oh, you know what? I'm a little tired of Bree. Let me pop over here for a couple days.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know exactly what the system is here, but also they have around 25 active players, I've been told. So you can get a lot done with 25 active players in creative mode. Not burying the accomplishment of this thing, but in survival, the time scale is different.
Oh, it's very, very different. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to gather the materials, craft things. There's a lot of different aspects.
A funny thing, I was one of the glazed terracotta textures that we have is these Conquest crates with like apples on the top, and
right.
I was editing it and whatever, and one of the tops didn't work. So the way I have is I have like 13 different side of the crates, or the one side, and then 13 different tops, and it's all randomized. So unfortunately, because of our constraints, we can't pick what you want. But you put down a crate, you're gonna get one of the 13. One of them wasn't working. It was driving me insane. I tried everything. I redid every line of the model and the IDs and all that stuff. And it turned out that when I was editing the texture, somehow I saved it as a 32 by 33 texture. So,
oh, yep, that'll kill it.
Yeah, but I must have spent an hour on trying to figure out what the heck I was doing wrong, if I had a misspelling or a typo somewhere or whatever.
I still want to try and figure out the note block thing.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because I think it's like 256 textures.
Oh.
Because it's every note and also every material that it sits on.
Wow,
like all the different instruments.
Yeah, that's
you
amazing.
you can assign a different texture to it. I mean, that's so many crates, or just blocks. I mean, because it's just some wood and redstone, right? Yeah, that's cheap.
Yeah. Wow, this is very. Oh, here's an inn. How do you even? Oh, this is so cool.
Right up
Man,
that side there.
These levels are so good. Just like nothing's flat in this world, and I think that is the huge difference on what I have done so far versus what I want to do in the future. Nothing's flat.
It takes a long time to break out of the whole like let's flatten this area to build a home, or to build a building. And I mean, even up until very recently, I was still flattening. Not the whole area. Like when you start Minecraft, everybody flattens out like an entire plains,
Yeah, right.
and builds their town on all the same level.
Yep.
And then you step into, okay, well, I'm going to flatten just where this home is, so that it's all on the same level. And it takes a while to break into the point of, let's see if they do it in here. Some of them, especially in Hobbiton, and you'll get to that in a future episode, you walk in, and you're on this level. And then you come into like another room, and it's down a block.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because that was like the lay of the land.
Yeah, and it like you just feed with it, and instead of just having, a second floor or a basement like this one does, you also have those different tiers inside the same building.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time for you to get to that point.
This is very good.
But I think it's just sort of the natural progression of being a Minecraft builder. You slowly work into in one, you know, your skills honed, but also I feel like we all kind of stick with what's going on in the community at the time, and that's where we're headed.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, and you're totally right about flattening a big. Even in Vasten, when I started Vasten, I had been playing Minecraft for some time already, so I wasn't absolutely new. But the first town, well, let's just ignore spawn because we had no materials. But the first town is Kalahal. It's very flat. You know, the second town is a little less flat. Third town is a little less flat, and then finally, Port Bray is the most recent one. It's just all the buildings are just wherever the land was at that. I don't think I flattened out anything for that, and that's just, you know, us all sort of growing together at the same time while we build, and it's very exciting. This is awesome. This is awesome.
This is the stuff that really gets me going. You're over here like lusting after the buildings, but like this little marshy area with the river going through.
Yeah.
I used to play on a server called Duconia.
Oh yeah.
And everybody used to like joke because I had placed, I think it was close to like 20,000 saplings, but I hadn't cut down any trees. Like I had a friend playing with me and he did all the material gathering and I just built.
Yeah.
But I had placed 20,000, I mean, custom forests everywhere. And
nice.
like, this stuff right here. I mean, I was always sitting in the bone farm getting bone meal.
Yeah.
This is what I love. It's something about walking through this tall grass and these reeds and sort of getting lost.
Yeah, it's really amazing. What do you think, just past here, what do you think the deal is with all these like sectioned off cobblestoned? I did start this in a little like a purple sheep farm that we needed for the airship, and I did, before I built the wheat field, I did make this like cobblestone wall, but there's nothing on the inside. What is it, pasture maybe?
This is definitely a pasture. I think there's this like water trough here. I think they just don't have mobs on this server.
Oh yeah, I think that's
probably
right,
for RAM reasons.
Yeah,
memory.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But I noticed I've been in a couple fields, these big open fields of pasture. Because right over here, there's another one. There's a feeding trough. Water trough.
I see. So these are maybe
like this little
ways to section off all the different animals.
Yep. You know, because I live in the sticks, and so I see this a lot. And basically, you know, you'd have, let's say there's sheep, you'd have them out here for a few days, and then you'd open this gate and you'd shove them out here, and it's just to keep them from eating everything and killing the fields. So they've got all these different fields.
That makes so much sense. How do I not know that? That makes total sense. I feel like I've heard that before, but I've just put it somewhere so far in the back of my mind that I don't remember. But man, wow, all these fields.
And you know, like, so I feel like at one point right here, this was one field. But these hedges look, you know, they were probably thrown in here or intentionally let to grow a couple trees and stuff. And so there's two gates. There's the one gate for the north end and one gate down here.
Yeah.
It helps to just divide it up and section it off a little bit easier.
Yeah, this is great. You know what else I like too about these fields? I like there's no flowers in these fields at all. Like they've taken the time to I assume bone meal. I guess that's how you'd still do it in creative. Just bone meal all this, but then get rid of almost all the flowers. But then if you go just outside to this hill, there's flowers everywhere. I think that's a really good touch. It really shows where the animals have eaten it down.
Flowers wouldn't make it. Yep.
Yeah. That's a small touch, but a big deal, you know? Like, it's awesome. In addition, man.
And these pastures are huge. I mean, this is like entire biome in vanilla Minecraft just for these pastures alone.
Yeah, and it just settles down nicely in the valley, you know? There's like hills on every side. The water, have you noticed that the water, it starts at that lake coming down and it just keeps going? Right in the middle of the valley of this. Now, yeah, I know a world edit. This is beyond our capabilities in a survival world. But man, look at this. So the water just comes out of here and just flows.
Yep, just a natural stream source right here, and then keeps going.
So there's a reason for water. You know, I see a lot of times in people's worlds where there's like water, but it's like, well, where's that water coming from? It's like, don't worry about where the water's coming from.
Yeah, a lot of suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, but that one looks like it could actually be coming from there and just going right down here.
Yep.
Awesome.
Oh man, it's just so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I see what you're saying. There's a lake over here as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's fed by a stream that comes pretty much from that first section of town we were in, because that's that tower right there. Okay, yeah.
That's awesome.
And I'm assuming you just follow the stream and it's going to feed into other lakes and bigger rivers and
Yeah.
I guess eventually to the ocean.
Probably. I mean, probably. Yeah.
I mean, those are the best maps, really. Like World Painter maps is when you can follow something as small as this and make it from a tiny stream to eventually you're just miles away.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, and it goes through this forest here. Oh, I'm gonna get lost.
Well, speaking
I don't
of
have time for all
getting
that.
lost, I got lost in time. We are 40 minutes in, so this is going to be a much longer episode than I intended, but I can't help it. I got excited.
Oh yeah, I mean it's too easy to get drawn in here.
So I'm going to end this here. Thank you so much for watching. Please join me on Discord. Please come to Vasten Season 2. It's starting here in maybe a week or two at most, as soon as 1.13 comes out. And Pride will be building there with us. Join him on Twitch. I will link that in the description and YouTube as well. And yeah, we'll be back here next episode. I'm just going to continue until I've seen everything. So many hundreds and hundreds and thousands of episodes probably from ArdaCraft. So yeah, give these guys some love. ArdaCraft.me, is that correct?
I believe so. If not, you just Google ArdaCraft.
Yeah.
It'll pop up.
All right. Anyway,
It's popular enough.
Pride, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem.
And-
Thanks for coming with me too.
All right. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.